I love math, not since day one, but ever since. For some, it might be an uncomfortable topic, but I look at it in an optimistic way. The reason I love math is not because I'm an Asian or anything like that, but in order to understand why I love math, it's to look at some of my early school experiences. I always was doing quite well academically, and I had a very good friend, let's call her Tina to protect her real identity. She was doing very well academically as well, but more importantly, she has a great heart and always stood up for what is right. Maybe it was puberty hitting, maybe it was just new teachers, whatever it was. I started to getting worse grades in school subjects like German, although I felt that my performance didn't deteriorate. So I was thinking that it must have been the teacher's fault, of course. I'm not talking about multiple choice exams here, but essays, where you have had to do some critical thinking or personal interpretations and the teacher had to grade personally. For context, a bad grade for me was a B+. It was not the fact I got a B+ or that my friend was doing better than me that got me frustrated, but the fact that the teacher told me that I should be happy and proud to get a B+, nearly an A, right? Given my cultural background, I should consider this a success. Funnily, I was not even thinking of stereotypes or racism at that moment, but you have to understand my personal context at home. Whenever I told my father I had an A, he would ask me how many A's were there in the class. And if I said around 3 or 4 of them had an A, my father would just scoff and say, then it was probably too easy. So I worked hard nonetheless to keep up the hope of some Asian appreciation, but that's another story for another day. Anyhow, back to my B+, which felt like a big capital F. Tina came up with a great idea. We just swap our names. Her German name would go on my exam and my Vietnamese name would go on hers. And yes, unfortunately we got the expected outcome. My exam with her name got an A and her exam with my name got a B+. We reported it to the school administration and then both got an A after independent review. Of course it must have been a coincidence and poor chance of luck. Of course it had nothing to do with a race issue nor the teacher being xenophobic. Maybe I should just have accepted the B+ and kept quiet. Racism or not, I honestly didn't mind anymore. Because at that time I was already facing so much discrimination in my life, it simply didn't matter to me that much. Go home where you come from was a normal thing for me to hear growing up in Germany. But being told I should be happy with what I do not deserve was really painful. Math, on the other hand, never let me down. Because in math I could always use my own name and get my own straight A's regardless of teachers. And that's my cup of tea.